evening's live. I would like to just touch base on what's going on across the market very quickly before we timestamp this and do the intro. Simon, welcome in and thank you for being in Tom's Army for 3 months plus with the XRP Meteor. I greatly appreciate that continued support. So XRP right now is down 3.3% on the day. It's down around it's about 48 cents, just a tad bit over. JW, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Good day to you as well, my friend. Chance and Messi, welcome in to both of you. But XRP right now, in the short term, in the 2-hour time frame, it's flipped a little bullish. According to the relative strength index, it's pushed past the resistance barrier. So we'll see if that pushes us up here as Bitcoin looks to test a higher drop point, which we'll go over here as well. Wales, Josie Wales, welcome in along with Mark Cass, and thank you both for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XRP Meteor. On the other, from the Outlaw State says Wales, Josie Wales. Mosey here, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XP Predictor. Good late evening to you, my friend. Good evening, Mr. John Hall. Welcome in, brother. Hope you're having a good evening. You're welcome, my friend. Lonzo, good evening. Mario Louise Willamese, welcome in. But as we see here, I'm just trying to get through some of the comments because I like to say hi to everybody as they come in. Chance Williams, more loaded now than I was in 2017. Same here. I'm more packed up than I've been ever. And I'm more secure, and it's a remarkable thing. As an XRP holder, you just must be patient. It's that simple. As an XRP holder, you have to be patient. We've known the end game for so long that these are the moments where you really get tested. You really get tested. Things are a little out of whack here when it comes to the XRP and the Bitcoin ratio. Things that will pop off on the chart. It's just we don't know where it takes off at. As we know, going all the way until December of this year, we have a range right now that can go down to about 39.5 cents. That's known. We've been stuck in a consolidation for 80 months. And we don't know when it's going to do what it needs to do. We don't know when we're going to get some resolution. CJ2 Pilot, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months. Hopefully you're having a great evening with the XP Predictor. 2460 Joel, welcome in. Birds View, good evening. Need to buy 10 to 20,000. Is that what you said? I'll have to see that in a sec. But we know where this ends up going through another acquisition today by Ripple Labs of Standard Custody, and that plan has been approved now. That came through today, that the news that things went the way they wanted to. So Ripple has been making a lot of noise here under the radar. And what's been happening, and it's sad, and we'll get into it, is retail's been dumping at an alarming rate, while the whales that hold 1 billion or 1 million to 1 billion tokens have increased by 2%. I know it doesn't seem like a large number, but during these dips overall, they've accumulated and acquired 2% more of the holdings in XRP, while retail, 40% of retail have dumped. It's down to the lowest addresses. I think it's about 19,000 and some change addresses now that hold XRP. That's nothing. And at 40% have cut bait in the last several weeks, which is incredible. It's incredible when you actually look at what's happening beneath the surface. And we see that this is what we've been talking about since 2021. And it's like the old saying goes, when it's time, everybody's going to be gone. When the actual time to be here is the right time to buy, when it's the right time to buy XRP, no one's going to be around to do it. And it's so true. Because even the ones who are holding, 40% of those wallets have disappeared, have gone away. So if there was a little bit of holdings before, imagine now. Picked up some more XRP. Sell the news is buy the dip. Yep. XRPH had a major news announcement yesterday as well. Chance Williams, patient is key. We know the outcome. That is so true. Blue endgame dramatic music. Yeah, I know if I had some dramatic music, it'd make it sound better. But, I don't want to get copyrighted. So, we kind of stay away from it. But yeah, I mean, it's a very obvious endgame to me. But please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube recommends us live. It's very important. I would like everybody to see this now that we've dipped 3.4%. and to see what can possibly be had here with any kind of reversal. The 2 hour is trying to speak of a technical reversal according to the RSI, but we'll see what happens here as it breaks more into the bullish range, and we'll see if it can continue to push up here, as XRP did come outside of the short-term consolidation. Well, I mean, it was a few percent here. We haven't come back down to the actual short-term uptrend just yet, but we did break bullish technically out of the short-term consolidation. But now in the 45-minute, it's looking maybe a little bearish. 30-minute, it's looking like maybe a reversal candle here. So to me, if you're looking to make a trade, I would probably wait to see if it comes down to the 47.66 area and pushes out. But there is a possibility in the first target here. Excuse me, the first target here would be that 48.8 cent area. And if we look into the higher time frames, we were getting pretty oversold. 3 hourly looks like there's a reversal put in. So that's something to be watching. The support right now is 47.98 on this, and the resistance is at 48.11. So the shorter time frames was World Bank, IBM, Australia, CBDC, Georgia Parallels. What's there to sell? Who's so dumb to... I know, L. Rob, I understand that. See, you're speaking to the choir here. That's why I've been trying to be so transparent. I don't believe this is the... I think this is the time we've been waiting for so much. And every day that it drops, we get some news under the radar that most people won't pay attention to. They'll just sell. 3 hourly, that looks like a reversal candle is trying. If we can get a little bit of top-end pressure here in the next hour and a half, this could be a top-end pressure on this reversal. And we could start off, you know, in the next daily candle with a little bit of steam. Right now, obviously, we pushed out again, but this has not invalidated that short-term bull flag setup. This actually came down and caused a little bit of liquidity problem. This could work in the favor of a push up here now. Now that it's on the top side of this consolidation, it's actually, to me, pretty interesting if we're going to get any kind of steam. We'll find out here in this 2 hour candle. It's that simple. And we'll see. We'll see. Right now, it's been stuck in this area for about an hour and a half, just consolidating 2 hours. So, True, welcome in, my friend. I appreciate you tuning in as always. Did I see a Mr. Tony Carter in here as well? Been in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XB589 Moon Badge. And he's in the Outback somewhere in Australia. Very famous musician. Very famous musician. Lets us play his music. Lets us play his music. No questions asked. Amused. Pairing equals free money for... I gotta read the rest of that. So yeah, let's get into the intro. Make sure to hit that like button as this noise is behind me. So we'll do the intro real quick. I appreciate everybody who's diligent in watching. And we'll get through some of this news that we have to talk about as well with the Ripple Labs acquisition. So please make sure to hit that like button. As half of you hit the like button, it'll allow YouTube to recommend this live, and it'll allow more people to find their way into this great community, because I believe we have a lot to offer. Stay tuned, and I'll catch you on the other side of the intro. Good evening, 6:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, June 11, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Allergies a little running today. We've got a lot of the pollen flowing through the air, so excuse my runny nose a little bit. Even though it's not too runny, I just sound, I sound worse than my nose feels. But, you know, it's that time of the year here in Michigan, so... With all new growth comes a little bit of, you know, stuffiness sometimes, and that's okay. So, XRP, as we've been talking about, Kyle Kupiak, Cape Cod Kyle, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XP Meteor. I appreciate that. I seen a couple other comments that I'm going to get to as well once I see it. But XRP is down 3.38%. We had a little bit bigger drop to start, but we have had a nice little pullback here. And we'll see if there's more to come. If it could pull up and try to push that 49.1 area, it would be pretty interesting. Rockin' XRP Painter says, painting cars and listening to Tom on this beautiful day. Hope everyone's well. And thank you, Rockin' XRP Painter, for being in Tom's Army for 6 months plus with the XRP Predictor. Blue 5 says manipulation. Well, I believe crypto is very heavily manipulated right now. How else could we even try to justify the fact that everything drops at the same time, the same way, you know, when it's time to have a fall? So anyhow, you just got to get on the right track of the trading bots, and that's what we try to do here every day. So with XRP right now, there is a possible, when we looked at these in the higher time frames, that we're trying to put this reversal in the 4 hourly or in the 3 hourly. Now what I would like to see is in this next hour and 25 minutes, XRP start eke up to like that 48.22 area, and it's not far-fetched. We're at 48.03. So like when you look at the short-term consolidation, when I try to set up a little bit of a short-term pattern, and they change every day in the short term, the long-term, nothing changed even on this drop. But the funny thing is if you look at it just from the bear flag perspective, and we take out the short-term targets, which are up there, or we take out, I'll get rid of this so it's not in the way, but it's still within this bear flag consolidation. Could be a bull flag, we don't know, the short term, but nothing changed except it came down and showed you a second hit of support now, which we talked about the other day. And now we've come down and identified this uptrend, and today, yeah, we had a little bit of a pour down, but it didn't even come all the way back down to the drop we had before. So now you're basically back testing some of these drops. To me, it looks like you, it's just like filling it up, like the fair value gaps right now. You're filling a gap on these back tests, and if it holds, it makes it interesting. Your non-custodial wallet is the most important part of crypto. Yeah, I mean, it's a big part of it. It's a big part of it for sure. But does everybody see what I'm trying to say here? In the grand scheme, nothing's changed in this pattern. In fact, if it holds this and goes back up, this is how you garner liquidity here. And in the short term, you start looking at the 3 and the 4 hourly. 3 hourly is trying to put in a reversal like the 4 hourly. It really is. It's trying to. Is it going to play out? Let me move this. We already know the target, but we can see this. It looks like it's trying to. It's in the best interest to be up near that 48.22 level if this is going to be a bullish reversal here. If it is, you're looking at an area to buy, and we've already back tested this pattern breakout in a smaller sense, not in a higher time frame, but it came up initially to the 48.18, came back through the 47.80, and now it's trying to push out. It just hasn't had any steam here to be able to have any kind of real motion here or any kind of real movement. It's been stuck here. A little bit of top end pressure here on this 45 minute. So it's not, there's not really any signs of any volume one way or the other. The volume is coming down a little bit in the 45, so it is important to watch it in the higher time frame now to see if it's going to couple it with the smaller time frame, but to see if there's going to be some kind of reversal. And there's 2 targets off of this. The short target's 48.80, the longer target's 49.37, so it's just something to watch. If you could enlighten us in a roundabout way, why is it pronounced, oh, I gotta read that. Thank you for the $5 donation, E4 Rockin'. Why is it pronounced Michigan? I pronounce it that way because I think it goes back to when I was younger, the old football days of the Michigan Wolverines, and they'd always say, touchdown, Michigan. And when I was younger, when I was 14, Michigan won what was their last national title until this year. And that's how they used to say it all the time, and I used to just love it, and it got stuck in my head. So I think that's why I say it that way. Plus, I think it gives a vibrance to the state of Michigan because it is a great state of Michigan. I think it is. You know, it might be a little pricey here now. Things might not be the way they were, but we still have a beautiful landscape. But But Quanami, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3 months plus with the XP Meteor. I apologize if I missed anybody. EOC, what do you think Ripple will make its stablecoin? I think they're going to make the stablecoin announcement in part to when it's actually going to be. I think they'll make that announcement sometime in Q3, early Q4, that it's actually going to be put on the ledger. Trading with J-Ride, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XP589 Moon Badge. We got better prices. Let's go. Yes, we did. Joshy Sauce, welcome in. E4 Rocket says, huge Michigan fan. Let's go. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Same here. Same here. And they finally put me out of my misery and won a title. I've been begging them for the last... Well, I was 14 the last time they won it. You know, now I'm 40. So 14, 39. Hopefully it's not every 25 years. But, you know, at least this time around, you know... My son is just too young to even know what would happen. The price of platinum, since I love a discount, waiting for the Black Swan for XRP. Yeah, Muse, 1970 bucks says go Bucks. Hey, this is probably your best shot this year in a long time to take care of some business here. Now with XRP, if I'm looking at this realistically, it's not giving us anything either way. It really is looking like in the 2 hourly, we're going to have to wait this out, or the 3 hourly, to see if it can do a reversal here. And we're going to see if it can have any kind of top end pressure here by the end of these candles. And it's going to show us one way or the other. It looks like it's trying to slowly position itself for a reversal to at least retest some of these areas up here. And then anything beyond that is a guessing game. It really is. And if it falls back below, let's say you're in a trade right now and it falls back below 47.70, probably not a good sign. But right now I could see it at the end of this candle, you know, trying to make a push up there and making a run up at that 48.20 level. And then starting out a little hot here, you know, and it might not be too hot, but a little hot here to start the next daily. I could totally see that happening. Now, whether it happens or not is the question that I can't answer until it happens. You know, we can have a projection, we can have the best optimal, you know, prediction, which, I mean, just based on what the charts are giving us, but we won't know until we see some volume one way or the other. It's a very weird game right now for XRP. So many people sold out on XRP. So many people have just turned a blind eye to XRP. It's pretty crazy. I haven't seen this little interest in XRP as an influencer in the buzz since 2022, probably mid 22. Right now though, it's worse than anything I ever remember. At least people were optimistic back then. Now it's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable how many people are just, they waited for a big opportunity. An opportunity is coming around the last couple of years for accumulation, and now right at the tail end of it, right when things are about to get spicy, the closer we get to 25, the more exciting. But the less people that are obviously going to be around. You know, not just as part of the community. I mean, as far as a holder of XRP. To see the number of wallets that are down under 20,000, and the fact that 40% of wallets, or 40% of people have sold out, it's unbelievable. And the fact that whales from 1 million to 1 billion have increased their holdings by 2% during the same full-out liquidation slash closing of retail, it's crazy. So those holders are buying. The ones who already hold between 1 million and 1 billion tokens, believe it or not, they're buying as retail is selling. I don't know about you, but there's always a reason why smart money is smart money, and the rich get richer, because they don't care about the microcosms. They really don't. They don't care about this BS. They don't care about this short-term momentum. They don't. The only thing they care about is the long-term outlook. The long-term outlook here is a lot different than what's being perceived. All I know is you have to be patient as a holder. I'm going to be here, and you'll see what happens the next time XRP's up 15, 20%, because it'll happen. Or even 50%. It'll happen. It just depends on where it's going to happen from. The doors start to fly open and people get excited. But they're missing out on the moments where you buy before all of the FOMO kicks in. You never want to buy XRP when there's a bunch of FOMO. Look what happened back in July of 23. It literally went up 90% in an hour or two. The FOMO, and then everybody who decided to buy during the rally when they could have bought in when it was 50% below where even that rally started. You know, they got left out on the side of the road, and right now they're pissed. They're down 50%, 40%, 20%. And, you know, it's understandable. But you want to be able to buy down. You'll never be able to buy the bottom at the exact moment. You've got to buy into the bottom. And you've got to find the key outliers that tell you, hey, this is an opportunity that we were looking for back in 21 after we sold out for huge profits. More than 300% in totality. Almost 400. And then we waited for the opportunity, and we've gotten one. And I've taken full advantage of this accumulation through the XRP Bitcoin pairing especially. I already had over 12,000 tokens. Now I've added another 10,300 if you look at it that way. It's hard to say exactly how much I put into it because it gives you different numbers based on, you know, the ratio of XRP Bitcoin. To my knowledge, I think it's like 5,100 the more I look at it, because I started to study every single investment I made. And it just fluctuates on MEXC because of the variation in the XRP Bitcoin pairing. But in reality, I put in, not only, but it's like 5,100. And it's down about, what is it, 175 bucks right now. But I'm continuing to put in, and it's been a couple months now, into that pairing as it's working its way down. And I got as low as 660 on a couple of my purchases, which was nice. So it's been interesting to see the lack of buzz and the lack of just overall optimism here. It really is. It's just something doesn't sit right. Like when I see all these whales buying, even this drop right now for Bitcoin, yes, it didn't hit 71,000 and liquidate the 1.38 billion, but when it got up to 70,200 on that push, it liquidated almost 700 million of it. So it was getting up there for some of it was 670 million, I think it was. But those liquidations started cooking, so like 50% got liquidated on that push. Now, what if it is coming down here for a support structure and then it breaks back up? Like, I think people are going to be getting roasted either way unless they have a plan. The leverage trading is difficult, but the spot trading is not, especially when you try to buy it down when it's in a proper position. Right now, under 50 cents, like I've always said, under 50 cents, everybody should be throwing their hat in the race. And if you can get 2 for $1, especially getting the 3 to $1, I mean, I don't know what we're waiting for. But yeah, Bitcoin rug pull, you could absolutely wait for that as well, as of right now. But remember, we had such a big drop that when you go into oversold, you always have, even if the rebound's meant to, or the breakdown's meant to continue, you always have these momentary breakups. You always do. So in this case, the 200-day could have been a likely spot at 67,758, or it'll come up and have an overzealous move here real quick to 68,643, and then, you know, maybe it would come back through the 200. Those are the couple options here. Now, I would not be surprised if Bitcoin is very bearish and it makes one more run up here at that big resistance either, and it forms a kind of a double top within a double top, but that remains to be seen. Right now, we still have a breakout of the pennant flag. That's what is unbelievable here. We've broken out of a pennant flag, and yeah, it looks bleak right now, but the only thing that happened is we got rejected here. We came down to more support, but we were already on the outside of a pennant flag. Right now, you could technically come down and retest the outside of it at 64,443, which could happen. It's just you're looking for a logical place to reject here. And to me, the most logical place, first place to look, is this area we're getting very close to. Got a nice engulfing candle in the 4-hourly. And that's not a surprise, because if we're coming up here for the first rejection point at 67,800, I think that's a fair assessment to look at that area and say, okay, if we come up there and get rejected, we got a problem. But that's about 500 points from where we're at right now. And Bitcoin's moved up about 1,300 points from the bottom. So it's not out of the realm to say it's going to have a 50% retracement. Now, if you put that in terms of XRP and the same criteria, you can't. Because XRP in the 4-hourly set up a little more wholesome than Bitcoin. And I'm sure some of you can see this. There's no bearish cross taking place here in the 4-hourly for XRP. It's actually set up for a move back up to see if the 20-day is ready to be broken above again. 4 hourly looks like a reversal is trying to take shape. If you start seeing this at 48.22 while we're doing this, you're going to know that there's a possibility that we're going to break bullish here to start the next daily. And that could just be a 1.5% move. And that could just be the 50% pullback to try to retest some of those areas. There's very little activity on the ledger. That's why people are bearish on XRP. Yeah, I mean, the ledger is pretty lackluster right now. But that's it's interesting at that point because, you know, there's going to be that crescendo moment when you get the real world assets on here through gold and silver, as we've already heard about, which is coming in Q3. And when the Ripple the activity's not always going to be down. This is the time, and I'm going to show you another reason why these are good times to be poaching XRP. Not only are we going to talk about Ripple Labs as we've gotten into 25 minutes, but Ripple Labs closes standard custody acquisition deal. We've also got Forbes tagging XRP as a crypto, as zombie crypto. So I like when the negative buzz comes in with XRP. I like this. You want to buy when everybody's telling you not to. You want to buy when everybody's exited. You don't want to buy when the masses are there. There's a reason why the masses always come in with FOMO. You want to be paying attention to the whales' movements. The whales have made it very decisive. They are buying right now. They are not getting rid of their XRP. The 1 million to 1 billion XRP holders increased their total holdings cumulatively by 2%. It doesn't sound like a lot, but when 40% of retail cashed out in that same time period, it's astronomical. That means they're just buying all of that 40%. Think about it. 40% of retail is probably just a 2% increase to their wallets. If you just think about it in that metric, I dare anybody to put those 40% together of who sold and to have it come up to about 2% of the holdings of the wealthy, of the whales, between 1 million and 1 billion. I would be pretty fair to say that they just scooped it up and they're just sitting back with their hands behind their head, waiting to do this. Oh, I do too, Christian. That's what I mean. I think they're purposely trying to get retail to sell. And as more of these things happen, and we've getting all these deals lately, more and more people are bailing based on what they're seeing with the fake narrative, and they're missing out on what's really in front of us. It really is. So Ripple Labs closes standard custody acquisition deal. Jack McDonald will remain CEO of standard custody while also serving in his new role as Senior Vice President of Stablecoins at Ripple. Could this be in light of the Ripple stablecoin? Ripple Labs closed its acquisition of standard custody, a digital asset custodian, on June 11th. The deal, first announced earlier this year, is central to Ripple's planned rollout of a United States dollar stablecoin and broader goals of real-world asset tokenization. As part of the deal, Standard Custody CEO Jack McDonald will be appointed as Ripple's Senior Vice President of Stablecoins while remaining as the CEO of Standard Custody. Jack McDonald said, "Very excited to share that as part of this deal closed, I am joining Ripple as the Senior Vice President of Stablecoins to lead the team bringing Ripple stablecoin to the market later this year, though remaining CEO of Standard Custody as well." Big shakeout before the switch. I think we're experiencing the shakeout as we speak. Ripple said earlier this year, Ripple announced its intent to acquire Standard Custody. And today we're pleased to share that the acquisition is now complete. And Ripple, how it will learn how this deal will further enable Ripple to deliver building on the Internet of Value. So that's something we'll go into later, more about that, about the what it means for the Internet of Value. But let's continue reading this real quickly. I think there's more. So Ripple highlighted Standard Custody's licensing as a core feature of the digital asset custodian, pointing to Standard Custody's regulatory approval from the New York Department of Financial Services, NYDFS, one of the strictest financial regulators when it comes to digital assets. The acquisition of Standard Custody follows Ripple's 2023 acquisition of MEXC, another digital asset custody firm, for $250 million. Ripple's purchase of MEXC was underscored by the belief that institutional crypto custody industry will reach 10 trillion by 2030 as banks increasingly seek to provide digital asset custodial services to their customers. Included within the realm of custody services is the emergence of real-world asset tokenization, a market that could swallow to over 800 trillion if all the world's capital assets are tokenized according to Chainlink. Real-world asset tokenization has become a major focus for firms like Ripple Labs, Chainlink, and Algorand. The emerging tokenization market is widely believed to be the next big frontier for cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and digital assets. In May, the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, DTCC, published its report of a real-world asset tokenization pilot program conducted between the DTCC and several large banks, including JP Morgan, Edward Jones, and BNY Mellon, which leveraged Chainlink's CCIP interoperability protocol. The purpose of the experiment was to test the tokenization of fund data and stimulate bringing real-world data on-chain. According to the DTCC's report, several benefits of blockchain tokenization were identified, including automated data management and reducing the need for record-keeping, real-world transparent APIs for customers, and the ability to create dynamic data management across the life cycle of an asset. Ultimately, the pilot program provided insight into potential future applications for banks and other institutional operators looking to leverage blockchain tokenization in their products and services, such as brokerage applications or automated data feeds. So Ripple Labs is making big moves that don't get talked about much. Josie Wales, the XRP Ledger really does have a lot of news here, especially the last couple of weeks and few months. There's been a lot of stuff happening here. It's coming out a lot. And it's good news, big news, that I think if people realize we're going digital, folks, and then some people are like, oh, XRP is not going to be the world reserve currency. That's not what we're talking about. Banking's going digital. Everything's going digital. So if you understand what XRP is and other cryptocurrencies, it's not just XRP. They all have their own role. Ali Rov says, these ISO compliant assets are consciousness tests. Are you visually capable of seeing the value in these digital? Ooh, I really like this comment. I got to finish reading that. And then we'll get into this Ripple XRP tagged as zombie crypto by Forbes. And please make sure to hit that like button if you're watching. I really would appreciate it. 59 of you have hit the like button. If you hit that like button, YouTube will really work on recommending these lives. Digital Rails, can you recognize the plain English? And if you do appreciate my work, please consider joining Tom's Army. I would love to see new members in Tom's Army and seeing more badges next to your names. It's in the video description below how to join. And it's just a way to pay it forward. I would love to see more members in Tom's Army. I really, really would. Can you recognize the plain English evidence when it's presented to you? You've been chosen to see reality for what it is. Hey, I agree with that. And I think I have a purpose here to try to lead everybody who wants to go down the right path to understand that opportunity and just the reality of what the ISO tokens really stand for. The Internet of Things and the ISO tokens are the biggest things since sliced bread when it comes to digital assets. Think of smart houses, things of the smart cities, and all this other stuff that's coming to a place near you. Notice the apartment complexes where you live. I don't even need to live next to you in the United States. But haven't you noticed an increase in apartment complexes popping up in the weirdest of spots? Like where I'm at, I've noticed apartments on top of my gym now at Hotworks. On top of the Ace Hardware, they built apartments. They're building apartments everywhere. There's a reason why. There is a reason why. Get ahead of this whole thing. Get ahead of this. Ripple XRP tagged as zombie crypto by Forbes. You wonder why they're putting out these kind of headlines. The mainstream is never going to lead you in the right direction. The more times I see stuff like this, the more excited I get. I promise you, I'm going to be here until the bittersweet end, one way or the other. And I just know in my heart how this is going to play out. And I'm making the moves now, and I've been making the moves since 21 from a financial standpoint to where I'm very cash poor right now, and I feel very broke. But the reality of it is the assets I've acquired make me anything but broke, except in the sense of currency, which isn't even money. Juan's Way, thank you so much for the $10 donation. That helps so much more than I think most people realize, as I don't charge for any of my content. So your donations, your generosity on the YouTube super chats, or the members of Tom's Army, it all helps fund this program. It really does. It allows me to make sure I have what I need, especially with my tablet and some of the things I need to, put these out. It's really beautiful. Thank you so much. Sully Mode, welcome in. Tanya, welcome in, love, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. I know that the dice are nice, huh? Oh, yeah. It's the opportunity of a lifetime, huh? I am family rich. That's right. I am family rich. Straight up hit piece, like in the stocks. But let's read this real quick. Like, look at this. Look at the smear campaign by Forbes. Ripple XRP tagged as zombie crypto by Forbes. Can you believe they would talk about XRP like this? These sons. In a highly critical review, Forbes has labeled XRP and Ripple Labs as a good for nothing and zombie projects. The harsh commentary comes as Ripple's XRP shows signs of mild recovery, bouncing from its support level of 46.7 cents and rising to 49.2 cents at the time of writing, which it's at about 48 cents right now. While the broader market is celebrating Bitcoin's resurgence, Forbes critic cast doubt on the altcoin's long-term durability. Forbes provides an in-depth examination of Ripple's history. In its report, it highlights its ambitious vision to transform the global financial system by enabling quick and low-cost money transfers for banks across the world. So at least you know, it's not just us saying that they're trying to help transcend banks with money transfers across the globe. They're talking about it right here. That's not speculation. That's what's actually going on. This vision has attracted prominent interest as well as investment. For instance, Ripple Labs issued 100 billion XRP tokens and raised 1.4 billion to aid its grand scheme. The report also notes the widespread belief that Ripple would eventually replace the SWIFT network. It should be noted that SWIFT handles a staggering $5 trillion in daily interbank transfers. However, Forbes argues, being in operation for over a decade, Ripple has failed to achieve its primary objective. The publication called out the firm for only conducting pilot crypto programs with a few central banks, including those in Georgia and the Republic of Palau. Therefore, Forbes calls Ripple a crypto zombie due to this perceived lack of progress. Forbes also points out the contradiction of XRP's market valuation amidst its perceived limitations. The altcoin has a market cap exceeding $36 billion, making it the sixth, and that's inaccurate, but okay, and it's the seventh largest, so at least we know that they're getting their accuracy 100% on point here. However, Forbes believes that the asset's market value is driven more by speculation than any real world. Oh, I know, like this, right? The Bank of International Settlement. I know that they failed to mention that as well. I agree. Speculation than any real world utility. The publication goes on to dismiss XRP as good for nothing. Despite the severe critique, XRP remains a crucial point of the Stocks Digital Asset Blue Chip Index under European regulations, underscoring its continued importance in the market. Ripple's partial price recovery and inclusion in significant financial indexes, I don't know what they're trying to say, suggests the ongoing debate over its future. I just think that's unbelievable that they would say this. Yeah, 80% of banks in Japan are doing business with Ripple. Or yeah, EOC, I understand. I understand. And like, speaking of more, for anybody who didn't see this, because my update this morning did not get, I mean, it's at almost 900 views now. It took some time for it to go around. But Ripple dedicates major portion of 1 billion XRP pledge to new fund for Japan and South Korea. So there's just new stuff popping up everywhere on the XRP ledger. The Japan and Korea fund is a part of the 1 billion XRP pledge from Ripple, in which focuses on providing financial, technical, and business support to projects building on the XRP ledger. According to a press release today, Ripple has launched a new fund focused on bolstering innovation on the XRP ledger in the Japan and South Korean markets. Dubbed the XRPL Japan and Korea Fund, the new commitment will support multiple initiatives fostering innovation on XRPL in both countries. The major focus of the new fund will focus on 4 distinct areas. First, it will enhance partnerships with top Japan and Korea-based companies. leading to the integration of XRPL into their operations while exploring enterprise use cases across various sectors. Through the XRP Ledger Japan and Korea Fund, Ripple will also provide support to promising projects built on the XRP Ledger in areas of business, finance, and technical development. Additionally, Ripple will actively identify and invest in early-stage companies that harness the XRPL to build novel applications in Japan and Korea. Lastly, the fund will also help Ripple support local events in the countries, including education, programs, and hackathons. Ripple to commit huge portion of its 1 billion XRP pledge to the new fund. Per the announcement, the fund is part of Ripple's 1 billion XRP pledge aimed at offering technical, financial, and business support to developers building on the XRP Ledger via the XRPL Grants and XRPL Accelerator Program. So don't you think it'd be in the best interest of this fund for XRP's price to appreciate over time instead of depreciating? Also, another smart way to offload a billion XRP off of the books. Ripple noted that it would commit a considerable portion of 1 billion XRP toward fostering opportunities, especially in Korea and Japan, adding that the commitment could run into tens of millions of dollars over time. Commenting on the development, Ripple's VP of Strategic Operations, Emi Yashikawa, said the new fund demonstrates the company's confidence in the prospects of Japan and Korea as essential regional centers for blockchain innovation. According to Ripple, Japan and Korea are home to some dynamic XRP Ledger communities worldwide. Supported by efficient institutional collaborations, favorable regulations, and growing startups within their respective blockchain sectors, Ripple mentioned that Japan and Korea-based projects were selected among the XRPL Grants Wave 7 awardees. In particular, VWBL Japan and Moai Finance Korea were among the firms that received funding to continue building on the XRP Ledger. The company also noted it had partnered with top Korea and Japan-based companies, including SBI Holdings, the Hashkey DX, over the years. Furthermore, Ripple stated that some of its executives will participate as speakers at events scheduled in these regions later this year, such as Korea Blockchain Week and WebEx Asia and Japan. So a lot of stuff is going on. A lot of stuff is really going on. Let's see where we're at right now. 48 points. Okay, so we are trying to make a little push up towards that 48.22. I'll be interested to see, because it looked like it's trying to put in a short-term reversal, and if that's the case, you should come up here. First target's 48.83. And it would be an interesting area, because that would be the first chance. Second chance, if it plays true, is 49.37 at a rejection. So, and it looks like we're starting to, like I said in the 2 hourly when I came on, we were starting to push bullish more into the 2 hourly according to the RSI. 2 hourly candle here starting to push bullish. The candle's looking a little bullish here. We were oversold earlier, and now we're starting to make a little bit of a push up. We'll see if in the 3 hourly we can make this proper top heavy here. We're at 48.11. If we can get up to about 48.22, it'd be very interesting. Ripple got a license for the USA. Interesting. I've been looking at so much stuff that I did not even pay attention to that. Ripple attracts 1.2 million in inflows. Interesting. I'll have to take a look at that, Tanya. I'll have to take a look at that. Ripple acquires USA license. Oh, yeah, I talked about standard custody acquisition. Yeah, I talked about the standard custody. I didn't even think about that perspective. That's actually interesting. We talked about that. There's a lot of stuff going on, ladies. And sorry, I was just reading a little piece on there. There's a lot of stuff going on. I didn't even see that they attracted 1.2 million in inflows. Let's see what this is about. XRP attracts 1.2 million inflow in altcoin market doldrums. As recently reported by CoinShares, in the past week, XRP attracted inflows of 1.2 million. This surge is stark contrast to the subdued activity seen on the broader altcoin market. In comparison to XRP, Other altcoins cannot boast such major inflows. Solana, Litecoin, and Chainlink experience inflows of 0.7 million. Well, I don't even care about the rest of them. Notably, XRP is displaying a weekly trend of growing inflows. The week prior to last, XRP received 800,000 in inflows, up from 0.4, so 400,000 the week before. So XRP's inflows are at least getting stronger here. This is good to see. This is good to see. FTX allegedly sells millions of XRP. Did anybody hear about this? Did anybody hear about FTX selling millions of XRP? I honestly didn't read this. I've been reading a lot of the acquisition news and stuff going on with the gold and silver coming to the XRP ledger as part of the RWAs, the real world assets. I didn't see anything about this. There's so much news on XRP. FTX allegedly sells millions of XRP. What's happening? In a recent development that has caught the attention of the cryptocurrency community, PackShield Alert reported that addresses associated with FTX and Alameda transferred approximately 12 million worth of cryptocurrency. The significant movement included 5 V Bitcoin worth around 7 million sent to Wintermute and 10 million wrapped XRP worth 5.2 million. XRP not at $70 a gram, so no gold get. I'm not even sure what that's supposed to mean. This significant movement includes yada yada 5.2 million transferred to Bitcoin. Wrapped XRP is a tokenized version of XRP that exists on other blockchains, allowing XRP holders to use their assets in decentralized applications. Meanwhile, FTX and Alameda, both involved in bankruptcy proceedings, have been under scrutiny for their cryptocurrency holdings and transactions. So it shows that they transferred 12 million worth of cryptos out. FTX's exact remaining XRP holdings remain unknown. Reports for September indicated that the bankrupt exchange had over 225 million XRP in its accounts. If the most recent transfer is accurate, the amount sent to Bitcoin represents no more than 4.4% of the total XRP held. So that's interesting if they hold that amount. This transaction coincides with a notable drop in the market value of XRP. Since the beginning of the day, the price of XRP has fallen more than 3.4%, dropping below the key psychological level of 50 cents per XRP. This decline raises questions about possible correlations between FTX transfer and recent price movements. XRP to USD. Well, if that was the case, the rest of crypto wouldn't have dropped. So it's hard to say that that's what caused it, because it didn't cause the rest of crypto to drop. Maybe Bitcoin a little bit. While it is possible that the price decline and transfer are unrelated, such a significant movement of assets could affect market sentiment. The transfer could scare off investors and reinforce bullish or bearish predictions, putting further downward pressure on XRP. So it's gonna be interesting to see. It's gonna be interesting to see, like you've been seeing here the last few days. We've had an awfully lot of reading because there has been an awfully lot of news here. There really has been an awfully lot of news. It's been rather remarkable how much stuff has been going on within the ledger. And just understanding how much volatility is really going to be coming to ledger is pretty remarkable. Bitcoin right now is pushing up here. It's about 300 points up since we started. It has a beautifully engulfing candle in the 3-hourly after a reversal. XRP looks to be about one candle behind. It really does, because Bitcoin did all of this, about one 3-hour candle before it did the flip. And now it looks like, as we stated in the beginning, Bitcoin looks like, if we look at it in the 4-hourly, it's a little bit different. 3-hourly is a tiny bit different, but 4-hourly is right here at 67,700. If it pushes through and the 3-hourly just continues to push up, we should be able to retest around 68,250 where that death cross is about to take place. So a lot of times you will retest this, and there's a lot of room for this to run because we broke so bearish, and the relative strength index is in our favor right now. As it broke a little, it could break bullish on the next candle. So if it continues like this, we could be looking at a bullish little reversal here. Now, how high does that go? It could stop at 67,800 or 68,300, but nonetheless, it looks like it's ready to rotate a little bit. With that being said, that's good news for XRP if that happens, as it's come out of the short-term consolidation, and it looks like it's trying to put in that 3-hour reversal candle itself. So now if this happens, the more pressure we get towards 48.20 by 8 o'clock, the more pretty we sit here. Right now it's at 48.06 cents, so it's got a little work to do, but it's still up a little bit. It is going up progressively until it's not, exactly. basically, to put it in, I guess, if you want to put it like that. But those are the areas to watch. And then if you get a rejection there, you know that we're overly bearish still, and we're going to likely have to come back down to lower lows. You know, and right now, with this consolidation, we didn't make a lower low from the previous drop a couple days ago. Even with Bitcoin, if you look at it, 67,500. When Bitcoin came down the other day, and I'm not talking about, oh, today, but when Bitcoin came up, and we've come down here before. We've come down into the 60. Actually, you know what? Bitcoin actually might have filled every one of those gaps, didn't it? I forgot that it did come down to like 66,000. So it filled this gap right here as well. There was a noticeable FVG gap in this area that it actually filled here on this backdrop, which is pretty interesting. Now we got to fill in this little gap here. And if we come back up and it gets rejected, and that gap is pretty pronounced, if it comes back up into this area and gets rejected, it's going to fill this gap, and then it could come all the way down into this area down here at 62,280, because then this could play off as a double top. But I'm not ready to say that it's going to come all the way down yet until it invalidates this structure, because that is still very much in play. It's just it pulled down, and a lot of times this happens when you have these inverse patterns, but we are still on the outside of the pennant flag, and all it's done is gotten a rejection here. Now it's got a short-term consolidation. Like, these are the opportunities here to see if we're going to get that firm rejection, or is this pattern going to continue on? Like, this is where we should get this little relief rally, and for anybody who's getting hammered, it doesn't help them, but this is where some will take opportunity and try to ride it up to these rejection points. So no matter which way you go, be cautious, especially if you're a leverage trader. Spot traders, you have more liquidity, you have more opportunity because you can acquire as it goes down to the bottom. As long as, like, you're not buying it at $1.75 and you're buying it here and riding it down, it's different. If you're buying it up and it's 50% down already or 90%, that well, it makes it harder. I think we have another leg down after wick to 5067, and that's what we're going to find out, but it certainly seems like what you're saying. I'm seeing the same thing. I don't know if it's going to get all the way to 508, but I am seeing at least a quick move up here, and at worst at 4880 to 4937, but I could surely see that quick wick up. It would make a lot of sense. It would make a lot of sense. I'm going to delete these on this chart. Even another retest, a quick move up for liquidity, even to get rejected up here at 52 cents could even make a lot of sense, because we are massively oversold when we get into these higher time frames, and it makes a lot of sense why there's a reversal candle possibly lining up here. That 3 hourly looks like a reversal is starting to take shape here, and we'll see if it ends with some upward pressure. A perfect ending point here at the daily close. If you see a close over 48.22, it's looking good. Even now, it's not looking bad, but that would be a beautiful close here for the 3 hourly. And it's just been stuck at 48 cents plus for the last several hours. The entirety of this 3 hour candle just been stuck in this range. So, oh yeah, I could see that E4. It definitely got to clear out the shorts here. They did the same thing with Bitcoin before it made that drop today. They had Bitcoin, as you've seen, go up to 70,200, which we had a nice 10x trade right up to that. 70,198 was our prediction, and it came right up to there. And they ended up liquidating out of the 1.38 billion in shorts. It was north of 600 million got liquidated. So they didn't leave without liquidating almost half of the ones who were shorting, and it was a large number. So who knows what is to be had here? But it's the same deal all the time. You know, there's never any easy road, but we'll see how this plays out. We'll see if Bitcoin does come up to those levels. As we're winding in on the end of this live, I do appreciate everybody tuning in. If you do appreciate my work, I would love to see more of you in Tom's Army. I don't see as many members as I used to, but I promise I will work diligently, and I will be here every single day, and I will earn your membership in Tom's Army, or I'll try to earn a YouTube Super Chat if you choose to go down that route. Make sure if you're trying to trade XRP and you're taking advantage of this time, I mean, I can't stress it enough. These are opportunities that we were looking for so many years ago. Marvin Davis, welcome in. Hopefully you're doing well, my friend. And now we're here. I've been looking for opportunities like we've had the last 12 to 16 months well, a little bit longer farther out too, after we sold out in 21 at $1.66 after making almost 400%. I was waiting for opportunity, and now I've been acquiring opportunity. It's been under 50 cents. I've been acquiring opportunity again. It's just two for $1 or more in these times, and where we're at in transparency with where the Ripple SEC case is, where we're at with the real world assets coming to the ledger in Q3 of 24, by gold and silver tokenization, by where we're at with the Ripple stablecoin coming in Q3 of 24 allegedly, or Q4. With all this stuff happening, and all of these partnerships announced, all of these acquisitions announced, there's so many times that you could have been like, well, I just don't know. This is a time where it should be more than I don't know. And it's really got to have a real thought come across your head now of when's the right time. If you haven't started to acquire, when is the right time? There's a reason why whales from 1 million to 1 billion have continued to accumulate and have accumulated by more than 2% of their holdings since 40% of retail decided to leave XRP as holders. You heard that right. 40% of retail left and sold their bags in the same time that wallets between 1 million and 1 billion increased their overall holdings by a 2% margin. Which means that those 40% sold ended up right in the whales' bags that hold 1 million to 1 billion tokens. You can't make that up. And I wonder who's going to win that end of the transaction. I can only imagine who's going to win that end of the margin. We see it time and time again. The rich get richer for a reason because they don't need the money that they're putting into these trades. They do in the grand scale, but in the time right now, they're willing to continue to put in, continue to pile in a set amount over time, big amounts, and then they wait until the eventual rise up, which they know is going to happen, because they can see, just like any of us, we're not stupid here, guys. We're all friends here. We're all family here. Every member of Tom's Army, every person who's here who's just subscribed to the channel, anybody who's ever sent a YouTube super chat or sent any kind of donation, anybody who's ever shared the content, you all know what's going on here. You all know what's going on. There's a big smear campaign right now when it comes to digital currencies, primarily XRP by virtue of the lawsuit and by what's going on in the mass media. But you know what the end game is. We all know what the end game is. We're going to digitize money. I'm not talking about crypto. I'm talking about universally. The end game here is to digitize money. So when you understand what the ISO tokens are, and you understand what the Internet of Things tokens are, and you understand what it means to hold XRP, and some of these other ones we talk about, but mainly XRP, as that's my biggest, that's what I talk about, mostly. And then to understand how you back it up with gold and silver, as we have for so long, and how you buy the proper commodities. B2 Gold's over 6.1% dividend currently. I've got the majority of my liquid cash in B2 Gold because of the dividend, and I get a payment on the 24th of this month. It's everything. It's everything. So hopefully I was able to give you a little bit of information here. I appreciate seeing all of you here this evening. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and if you appreciate what I do, please hit that subscribe button, as we have just over 22,000 subscribers, like 22,100 and some change. I would love to see you join into Tom's Army, but particularly subscribe to the channel so you can see more content. Please share this on social media, and do me your due diligence by hitting that like button so we can expand this audience, despite YouTube seeing about a 47% decrease in crypto searches. And that's hard when you're a crypto influencer dealing with XRP. It's even harder to top that off. 40% of the holders have left XRP. So that's 40% less people that are even going to be looking for somebody covering XRP. So we are a closer family than most of you might think. And we're a smaller group than many can even understand that hold XRP. If you hold 20,000 or more XRP, only 280,000 people hold 20,000 or more XRP. To put it in perspective, look how many billions there are around the world. So, to put it in perspective, we're a very small club, and we're getting smaller by the day, and only we, as members of the Army, can continue to push this narrative, the proper narrative, the power of positivity, positivity over negativity, And we will be helpful here, not hurtful. We are not victims. We are the winner. And we will continue to push that message. Have a blessed evening, everybody. Don't forget to give thanks to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ on this beautiful Tuesday evening. And I will see you tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time approximately to do another live. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. And it's been a privilege. Thank you all so much.